everybody again.
Hello.
I'm Ian.
And I'm Ray.
And welcome to another episode of Costume Couture.
Where we talk about costumes and couture.
And drink. And then talk shit and... Yeah, that's what we do.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
That's the premise. Welcome.
So we have a cosplayer of the week.
Yay!
Ian said cosplays. His name is Julio. And he does kind of what you do.
He does.
He's a gender bender.
Yes, I always like looking at other people's gender bending costumes because I'm like, ooh, I like that. I might add that to mine. Or, oh, that's an interesting take. I didn't think about, doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always fun seeing other people's interpretations of really well-known characters.
So I love that he also does Cruella de Vil like you do.
But it's totally different.
100% different.
It's extremely different. And
even the wig is different.
Yes, and I kind of want the little fur thing that he had on his side. I don't know what that is.
Are you copying that?
I kind of want that.
Okay.
I really do want that.
Ian said, do you see what you've done?
Yeah, hit me up, please, because I really want to know what you did with that. But no, his Cruella is very different. He doesn't have a full fur coat. He did, and it's smart. I should bring a fan too. I can just go thwarp and then just fan myself because God knows I need it in that coat.
That costume's tough.
It is.
Anybody.
But I love that he just did kind of a fur shawl, I guess.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and he did a white vest, red tie, and then everything else I think was black if I remember correctly.
Yes.
And the wig was very different than mine.
Yes.
But you still knew that is Cruella. That is a version of Cruella.
100% as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's Cruella.
Yes. And well done to you because my Cruella was very hard to pull off and I didn't know how I would do it. So I'm like, I like seeing other people's interpretations of that.
Absolutely. He also has a gender bent Elsa that
he
did, and it's the Coronation Elsa. So
which you don't see a whole lot of guys doing that. You see them more doing her blue ice outfit.
I'm okay with that. I like this look. I think
too.
It works more for a male than the blue outfit.
I agree.
But he had the staff and he had the gloves. He had this very long, beautiful train.
Which was like a silk almost looked like.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
So pretty.
Yes. And then he also does...
La Muerte from
that's
Book of Life. How cool is that? Like
that hat was gorgeous.
The hat is insane.
Like I didn't have to go to the pool with, so I can keep my. I can just keep the sun out of my eyes.
Well, if I wore that hat, I could keep my paleness.
You could. Oh, vampire hat. Cool. Yeah. Perfect.
Oh, props off to anybody who pulls off a La Muerte costume because that hat is insane.
It is. The whole costume is detailed, but the hat specifically. With all the flowers and all the
the candles,
yes.
Absolutely. It's an incredible prop.
It is
to any cosplayer, but this guy, he
takes a bite out of it and he just goes with it.
You're adorable.
Yes.
So check out Yin Said Cosplays on both Facebook and Instagram. He has different handles for his Twitter and Tumblr that I didn't memorize, but I will put.
Yeah, we'll put them in the link below or somewhere. We'll flash on the screen. But Derek, do it.
Thank you,
yes,
Julio,
thank
because
you.
your stuff is awesome and we want to hear from you.
Yes, and thank you for being a fan of the show. We appreciate that.
What's our topic today?
We're talking about the menses of the Marvels.
If you didn't understand that, it's Men of Marvel.
The menses of the Marvels.
The mensies.
The mensies.
So, since there's thousands of men in Marvel,
they don't get enough recognition, I don't think.
I think
costume-wise.
Yeah, costume-wise they don't, because everybody is always so focused on what the women in comics are wearing that we kind of ignore what the men are, and they go through slight costume changes all the time, and I absolutely adore it. So we're going to talk about our favorites. We're not talking about everyone.
No. We don't have time to talk about everyone.
No. So we're going to go through our favorite men and then our favorite costume of theirs and maybe our least favorite.
I'm okay with that, yes.
But that's it. We're going to keep this nice and short and not...
And we're going through not only just, we'll maybe talk about some of the movies, comics, and we're also including, the X-Men and their universe and all that stuff. It's not just Disney Marvel.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So do you want to kick things off?
Sure. So one of my favorite costumes of all time is Black Panther.
Okay.
I adore the look, and I'm a huge fan of what they did in Civil War, how they adapted it. I'm a big fan of that. I also loved his Civil War costume in the comics, too. He had was very stoic, but his necklace was a gold instead of a silver.
Really pretty.
And I love when they do the necklace in gold. So
gold and black goes really well together.
It does. Absolutely it does. My least favorite, and I know this isn't fair because it's not out yet, but I hate that mask that they have for the new Black Panther movie.
Yes. At D23, they just released images of the Black Panther costume.
And they gave it the panther cheeks, the
panther
like nose. It does not look good.
No. It looks like he's like frowning almost.
It kind of reminded me of that woman who got all the operations to look like a tiger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly, and that's not a good thing.
No.
And like I said, maybe it's like his final battle mask. Like
I don't know.
I thought he had the original one in the trailer.
I thought so too.
So maybe that's like, the first one gets damaged, so he has to get a new one, and that's like his final battle mask.
To me, it doesn't really make sense for him to change costumes in between Civil War and here anyway.
It does not.
So I'm a little nervous about why they're doing it, but I hate that look.
All the other costumes over that movie look gorgeous. Side note. I am in awe of those costumes. That's just pictures of them.
And then the actors. You have Angela Bassett. You have Forrest Whitaker. You have Lupita. You have Danae Garaya from Walking Dead. Oh.
You have
Michael B. Jordan.
I'll say Creed.
Creed.
They're just going to call him Creed. It's okay.
When Fantastic Four fails you, you go to Marvel and you get redeemed.
You go to the real Marvel and then you're like, all right, we're good. That's what happened with,
Chris Evans.
Yeah.
So that's my thing. I wanted to start with Black Panther and I
go from there.
Absolutely love both the comics and the Marvel Universe except for this one mask.
The one's like...
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going with favorites, right?
Yeah,
First?
yeah.
Okay.
That's your favorite.
I really like, and it's not in any of the movies, and it never will be, I love when Cyclops gets taken over by the Dark Phoenix.
Ooh.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a really good.
His visor turns almost like into a phoenix beak looking thing. It has the
when you
shoulder
say it sounds awful.
It does. It's when I say it doesn't. I don't.
We'll show pictures.
Yeah, picture somewhere. But that's a really pretty outfit.
I really hope that he puts the picture like in between us instead of where you pointed to.
Just somewhere. Just somewhere. Because Cyclops normally has, a blue outfit on.
He does.
Or in the movies, it's black leather.
Or yellow.
Thanks, Bryan Singer. It's okay. It's okay.
I hate you, Bryan Singer.
I know. But it gets possessed by the Dark Phoenix. Mm-hmm. Him and I think 4 or 5 other people get possessed by the Phoenix Force. And he's, I guess, the leader, because he's the leader of the X-Men, so why not the leader of the Phoenix Force? But he has the shoulder, I guess, I don't even know how you would describe it, but...
Pauldrons? Or
yeah, well, I guess so, because they form the Phoenix crest, but then they come down in, sharp edges.
Okay.
It's really pretty.
Have you ever seen somebody cosplay that?
Cyclops, maybe once. I know Yahya Han has done the Phoenix version of that.
Yes.
But I don't know if I've ever seen... I'm trying to think. Maybe once.
Maybe.
It was pretty good, but I think I've only seen it once or twice, and that was it.
Fair enough.
My least favorite look in the Marvel Universe.
For Cyclops.
Oh, for Cyclops?
Yeah.
I didn't like his... I just don't like him in the... Well, his outfit basically stays the same throughout all of it. It doesn't really change a whole lot.
Yeah.
So...
You're 100% correct.
I mean, he keeps his traditional kind of blue outfit. I don't like the one where it covers his whole entire head, the black kind of like skull cap.
Oh, yeah.
And there's no hair showing. I don't like that. He looks like a really weird looking penis. With like a visor. Like imagine a penis with a visor on it. That's him. You're welcome, internet.
Okay.
Make a meme of that or something. Make a picture of it.
Okay, so I don't have a least favorite version of this character because I just love it, and it's Doctor Strange.
Ooh, yeah.
He has some really fun outfits going all the way back. Again, like Cyclops, they rarely change. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe I don't really like the ones with the giant powder blue ankh on the cover.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes he has it right on his chest and it's huge and it doesn't really make any sense, especially since his powers aren't Egyptian. Like, why do you have an ankh on you?
Right.
But other than that, the cape is incredible. It's so cool. Just the sheer profile of it, the silhouette.
And it's tall too. It's not like, a short little.
Right.
It's
He's the Snow White of.
when you see his silhouette, you know pretty much that's who it is.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And the Benedict Cumberbatch movie did a great job of interpreting it. I thought the costume looked spectacular on him.
One quick note for the Marvel movies. When they do something with costumes, they do it right.
Most of the time,
they will like 98% of the time will do it correctly. They, know these characters so beloved. They know this, and they will take, costume references from the comics and incorporate them into the design. If not, take the whole entire costume and put it in there, but just add a bunch of detail like they did for Doctor Strange.
So here's my only issue with the Marvel costumes. Only issue.
Okay.
And I'm basing this off of the fact that I've seen all the costumes from Ragnarok.
Mm-hmm.
All the Asgardian costumes look pretty much identical to what's also found on Earth. The outfit that...
Gladiator style, you mean?
Well, the outfit that Hela wears is made from the exact same material as the one from Black Widow. And to me, that doesn't make sense.
Is it?
Because it's the same kind of textured...
Okay.
Like neoprene.
Okay.
And that, to me, it gives off the exact same look. And I'm like, how in the world does an otherworldly character
have that kind of, right,
have the exact same as somebody on Earth? To me, I felt like it should have been starkly different.
like leather or something?
I don't know. I don't know. I really wish they just...
And mind you, it's a teaser trailer, so it could be totally different. We don't know. So.
Absolutely. I'm only going off of the teaser trailer and the action figure.
Mm-hmm. And
action figure doesn't include all the tiny details.
No.
There's no way I know.
But the Marvel movies, I will say, put 110% into their costuming. DC will do a lot of costuming, but they'll take their own interpretation of it.
Yes.
Like, for example, Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad. She never wore anything like that before.
Nope.
But they took bits and pieces of the Suicide Squad comics and put it into that character, plus David Ayer's flair, and then you get his Harley Quinn.
Yes.
If Harley Quinn were a Marvel property, she would be in her classic red and black outfit, no question.
Most likely.
Yeah.
The only costume they've really differentiated, and I'm okay with it, is Scarlet Witch's.
Yes, I do like that.
The costume is just very sexual, and the headband
it would look ridiculous, I think, if she walked around with that big old headpiece.
I agree. I'd be okay if she wore like a red,
like a
crown or something like that.
I do too.
But
like kind of like, what is it? Her newest look that Yahya Han does.
Yeah.
It's like a bejeweled kind of headband.
Yeah,
thing. It's really pretty. That would work with this
That's currently
universe.
what the comics look like, and it's great.
So like another character I think they nailed the costume on for sure was Deadpool.
Yeah.
110%.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Deadpool was he was in X-Men Origins Wolverine, no matter how much you want to argue against that.
No, he was.
But fans are like, no, he wasn't. He was. He never got a classic outfit, and they totally just fucked that character raw.
100%.
It was horrible. No lube, nothing. It was just ouch.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was. And so when you do that to a character and you're going to do another movie with that character to, redeem yourself, you got to pull out all the stops.
I agree.
They for sure did it with that movie, with the costume.
I agree.
And especially they also redesigned Colossus, too. Mm-hmm. And that was a character we've seen in previous X-Men films who basically looks like the original.
He looks straight out of the comic books.
He does. But I think this one in Deadpool looks a little more towards the comic line instead of Bryan Singer's version. Yeah,
because in Bryan Singer's version, he was just steel, didn't have a Russian accent, mm-hmm. and the whole point of X-Men was that it was so diverse, and it was such an allegory for everything else in the world. Anybody who's ever felt on the outside connected with X-Men, so the fact that they just made everybody American and everybody white and, just copy and pasted.
Everyone wore black and it doesn't,
It was upsetting because that's not what the comics are about. It's not about uniformity. It's not about conformity. It's about celebrating your differences mm-hmm. and being rejected by it so you find people like you.
Right. So who are some others that you really like? Who's some of the Marvels?
Deadpool. Let's stick with Deadpool for a second because I really love his stealth outfit that he gets in X-Force.
Is that the gray one?
It is the gray one. And I love that. That's my favorite one. If I were to ever do a Deadpool cosplay, I would do...
You did the gray one?
The gray one.
Okay.
I like that so much better. Moving on, I really love Iron Fist in the comics.
Okay, yeah.
I love his outfit. I love his tattoo. I love everything about him. I love the mask. And so seeing him on the TV, the Netflix show, was a little disappointing that he never... First of all, he was never like the fun hippie that I wanted him to be. And second of all, the costume was just underwhelming. Colleen Wing looked so much better.
Yeah.
And that was disappointing to me because it's his show. And,
right. He should be the star of it with,
D23 in the EW issue of Comic-Con released a photo where it looked like he was getting a green tracksuit. I'm still not sure that's what I want, though.
I would be okay with like a green trench coat rather than a jumps or like a tracksuit.
We'll figure it out. I mean, we'll see. We're gonna see it in Defenders in next month. Next month.
Is that next month, Defenders?
Defenders is in August.
Oh, wow.
Punisher is in November.
Oh, wow. Okay, that comes out quick then.
That stuff is sneaking up on us.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. So sticking with the Netflix show, let's go with Daredevil.
Yes.
Obviously we had him in the movie. Remember this. Movies, like to redeem themselves sometimes. So we had the movie with Ben Affleck. And
that movie
outfit
was bad, but that outfit was cool.
I agree. That outfit, it was Daredevil.
Right. Elektra's outfit was on point too.
It was.
That black outfit was one of her costumes.
It was. But, Daredevil gets a new look in his own series and Defenders.
I like that they used the ninja outfit, but I wish they would have brought in the armor a little earlier. Maybe the last 3 episodes instead of the last 1.
Right. I mean, I get they did it for, emphasis and
the big
whatever.
reveal.
Yeah, but...
Yeah.
I like that he does get a little bit of an upgrade in season 2 of Daredevil.
Yes. And that totally makes sense.
I assume he does in Defenders as well, because he upgrades, I guess he progresses with his fighting skills. And
that totally makes sense. Yeah. He doesn't have powers like the other 3 have powers.
Nor he doesn't have money to do this stuff. He's not like Bruce Wayne. He doesn't have this stuff.
He has to be more armored and more efficient and a better fighter.
Yes.
He has to be the best of the Defenders because he can't rely on his natural abilities, I guess.
He does have some, but it's not like
unnatural abilities.
Yes, it's not like, Luke Cage. He doesn't he can't do that shit.
He's not bulletproof.
No. But I do really like that outfit because it's not just solid red. It has bits of black in there. It has a little bit of, I think, almost a purpley black with the straps. His cowl is not overly exaggerated like it has been in the comics.
I agree.
He's not bright red like he is in the comics. He's a really muted, kind of dark maroon red.
I completely agree, and I think that's necessary for the tone of the show,
as
well as fighting at night.
Like if he was bright red fighting, I'm like, wait, what?
No.
Wait a minute. What was that?
You gonna get shot.
Who is that? It's a target. That's what,
Yeah.
And then so... Let's talk about one of the newer Marvel movies that just came out. Let's talk about Spider-Man.
Let's do it.
Because Spider-Man has gone through a lot of costume changes throughout 3 different trilogies.
I have to say...
Well, almost a trilogy for the second
that
one.
I've never hated a movie Spider-Man costume.
I don't think I have either.
I think
because
they
keep
really
it safe.
Good.
They don't, do anything.
They don't mess with it.
No.
They don't. And I'm okay with it. At the very end of Spider-Man Homecoming, they reveal a new costume that Tony has built for him
yes,
as
there was
well.
an Iron Spider suit or whatever it's called.
It wasn't that exactly.
Well, they confirmed it for the new Avengers movie.
It could have been.
So I don't know if it's the Iron Spider or whatever.
It was beautiful because
yes.
they added in some golds too. And
it has this Iron Man flair to it.
It does. Which I don't know if it's necessary for Peter's character, to be honest, but it was beautiful. Here's something I want to see, and I think we're hinting at it with Sony doing the Venom movie, but I want to see the symbiote Spider-Man suit again. I want to see it done better because I didn't like the way it was in Spider-Man 3. I think that was the only big screen Spidey costume that I disliked. Yeah. I do really like the Spider-Man, the Iron Spider look, which Amadeus Cho gets in the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon. Now Amadeus Cho is a Hulk.
Right.
they finally figured out what to do with him, and he's Hulk, and it's awesome.
So, each Spider... So, let's start with, real quick, let's just go with Sam Raimi's trilogy. That Spider-Man suit looked like it did come from the comics, minus a few things.
Right.
I mean, I don't ever believe that Peter Parker made that on his own.
No.
But,
Really, the only departure from the comics was the fact that his web shooters were
they were actually
organic,
like in his wrist. Yeah.
And not something he built, which a lot of people, because of that movie, assume that's how it was supposed to be.
That's what I was when I was younger, because I didn't realize it. That's what I thought it was.
No, he always built the web shooters.
I didn't realize that.
After the Sam Raimi movie, they created this story where he falls in love with a spider queen. Mm-hmm. She mates with him and then kills him, eats him, like devours him. And then he is reborn and he can shoot web because of it.
Yeah.
Super convoluted just to make that canon.
But, I mean, if they wanted to, it makes sense.
Yeah, and eventually he loses that power and it goes back to the web shooters because Amazing Spider-Man and Spider-Man Homecoming both made the web shooters.
Yes, and when that first came out with Amazing Spider-Man, I'm like, wait a minute, doesn't he shoot it from the wrist? But then I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that he actually had web shooters and all that stuff.
Yeah, so that was the only thing that Sam Raimi's really, like, departed from.
Yes.
With the symbiote suit that came out in the third movie, it was gray. And that was my issue.
It was black, wasn't it?
It looked gray to me in everything. It was not...
Maybe because of the lighting.
That could be, because they definitely played around with the colors more in that film.
Right.
But I really... I didn't like the color changes that they had on it.
Okay.
It just didn't look as
Not
good
so
to
much.
me. Yeah.
Okay. I haven't watched the third one in forever, so I can't really remember a whole lot about it. But I do remember the black outfit and going like, wait, what?
Right.
I'm confused. But then we have a new Spider-Man who was Andrew Garfield for 2 movies. Mm-hmm. His spider suit changed from obviously Tobey Maguire because they want to make a distinct.
Sure.
The spider emblem changed. The colors always usually stay the same. It's always red and blue.
It's the amount of like
how
thick
dark
the webbing is.
And how, yes.
Like Tobey Maguire's suit had white and silver webbing that was very obvious, whereas we've departed from that. Every single incarnation has gotten less and less obvious.
Yeah, Spider-Man Homecoming really only has it on his mask and his like shoulder pieces.
Right, and
everything
the
else
spider has
so
gotten
much.
Smaller too in the very center.
And also in Spider-Man Homecoming, he gets his web wings, whatever they're called, web parachute
the gliders,
things. Yes,
kind of thing.
Which that was an original design way back when, so it was kind of fun to see that.
Yeah, it was heavily based off of the Jack Kirby drawings.
Yes. I mean, Spider-Man, he hasn't really changed a whole lot.
No, the Iron Spider suit and the symbiote suit are the biggest departures from it. So seeing them in the comics is great. Seeing them on the big screen, great too. But they've also been adapted by other characters. Spider-Gwen has a symbiote suit now, and Mary Jane is wearing the Iron Spider suit.
Yes.
And both of them look way better in it. So
I agree.
I can't really say anything otherwise. Who else do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about Cap.
Yes. So in the comics, he pretty much stays the same.
He does.
He has a very similar costume.
And he has chainmail in the comics too.
In a lot of them, yeah.
Which is interesting. This is what we do. You guys should know this by now. We drink on the show, so when we get low...
I think this is the first time we've made cocktails.
It is true. Mama's gotta have her juice.
Anyway, Captain America has pretty much the same look. It's his helmet that really changes, and it goes from, having the wings to having stripes to having the A on the side. So that's always changed,
Yes.
But the comics have really stayed very similar throughout his history. They did huge departures when both Falcon took over and Bucky took over.
Yes.
Bucky had...
They wanted to distinguish the characters, obviously. Yes. It made sense.
Bucky had a very interesting black addition to the sides. Every place there used to be white was now black.
I'm like, that's very kind of, okay.
It's start to kind of remind you that this is not Steve Rogers. This is Bucky Barnes, who is the Winter Soldier, who was mind wiped and made into an assassin.
Yes.
And that brought a darker essence to the character itself, so the costume had to reflect that.
Mm-hmm. Captain America, for me, his costume, throughout even the movies, doesn't really, it changes, but not to the point where it's a huge departure. Like in the first one, in the first Avenger, he has a lot of, armor on, he has a lot of, belts and stuff because it's World War II era? Okay.
Yeah, and I really loved the brown jacket they gave him. Yes. I liked that immediately they handed him a gun, because there's no way in World War II he's actually going to be fighting on the front lines without a weapon of some sort.
He doesn't use it a whole lot, but he does have a gun.
Exactly.
And then we have the Avengers. This is my least favorite look of his, is the first Avengers look.
That's also what people refer to on the internet as Captain Puerto Rico, because it looks like the Puerto Rican flag and not the American flag.
That and the costume itself.
And yes, I know Puerto Rico is part of America.
It doesn't look. Are you doing magic?
Continue, girl.
Are you doing magic?
Gathering.
It doesn't look like it's made out of superhero material. It kind of looks like it's made out of cotton.
For me, it looked the most campy. It stood out the most.
I agree.
And maybe that was the point that Joss was going for, that out of everybody, he needed to be the bright, shining star. He needed to be the one that gets everybody together, that continues to go.
Right.
Like, he calls out his other teammates for being selfish and wrapped up in not a team player. So he needed to be the campy superhero we needed, but at the same time, you're looking at some huge characters here,
yes.
And it just didn't make sense.
I liked his outfit in Civil War and in Cap 2 more than...
I love the Winter Soldier stealth outfit.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
So good. I made a dress to look like it because I loved it so much. Mm-hmm.
Now, are you upset? Like, these characters,
and that's the Civil War one that we're looking at right now.
One of the most iconic things about Captain America and even Thor is their helmets. And Thor wears his helmet for 5 minutes in the first film, and that's it.
Yes, he has never worn it
Captain America does not wear his helmet a whole lot.
He does not.
Do you think that helps the character with the costume, or do you think that they should wear more?
I think that if their secret identities were, hinged on it, like with Batman, I would be so frustrated. If Batman ever goes out into the field without a cowl, I might lose my shit.
Oh, I would too.
But it was big news in the Marvel Universe when Captain was pulled out. It made
everyone knows who he is.
Front page news that Steve Rogers was pulled out of the ice. Thor is Thor. They never really played up the whole Donald Blake thing for very long in the first movie. It didn't continue. Thor's helmet, not seeing that more often is disappointing. So I'm glad that the new Ragnarok film has hinted at
something. It's really
a gladiatorial version of it. Because
I missed that helmet.
It is a departure. I did miss it.
Same thing with Loki. Loki doesn't wear his helmet a lot either. No, he does.
He wears it more than Thor and Captain, but I honestly, in Ragnarok, I miss Thor's hair more than I do his helmet. I
think he was good though with short hair.
Chris Hemsworth looks amazing no matter what you do to that man, but Thor, I want long hair.
Well, he does have it for a little bit.
I know.
So
I want long hair.
Well, just cherish the 30 minutes he has it, and then the rest just be sad. I know. So speaking of Loki, let's talk about Loki. We haven't really talked about a villain yet.
Okay, so his comic costume is one of my favorites. He wears just a bodysuit. It actually looks very similar to the green suit that Quicksilver wears.
Yes.
And I love that. I'm a little upset they went with this leather.
See, I'm not mad at it at all.
You love it?
I love it.
Okay.
I thought the green jumpsuit would look ridiculous.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, that's fair.
Excuse me, especially with how they designed Thor and how they designed the other Asgardians. I think if he had a green jumpsuit, he would look like he's like someone on the side of the road picking up trash from prison. I don't think he would look good at all.
Fair enough. Okay.
And I love that he gets the really cool leathers and...
So, in the comics...
It's beautiful.
The helmet... It's not really a helmet. It's
more
like a band with horns.
Yes, it's kind of like a tiara.
So yes, it totally is. It's a Luke Cage tiara.
Yeah.
And I loved that they added a helmet version to it.
I think that, in Ragnarok, I think he does get the tiara. I don't think he gets a full helmet.
And he's wearing a blue outfit.
He does. He wears a green outfit in it as well, but for some of the stuff, we see him in blue and gold and stuff.
Well, his action figure and his pop vinyl is in a blue and gold outfit. It is not... that outfit, though, is not in the a teaser trailer yet. It's not in any of the trailers. So this is what we have to go off.
Yes. But I think that Loki... I love the way that they designed him. Tom Hiddleston is an amazing Loki.
He really is.
And he... I like that...
Their first pick would have been good, too.
Who was his first pick?
Their first pick was Josh Hartnett. And they approached him... He's in Penny Dreadful now, but
who is he in Penny Dreadful?
He's the main,
Oh, okay, yeah.
So they approached him, though, right as he was retiring, and he took that, 6-year sabbatical, and he said that passing up on Loki was one of his biggest mistakes in life. Yeah. But... I mean, Hiddleston went after Thor. He did not try out for Loki. So we lucked into having Hiddleston, to be honest.
I agree.
They could have just brushed him aside.
Yes. But no, his outfits, I like that they do evolve over time. But they still keep the color scheme. They still keep the basic patterns. And they still keep that Asgardian feel. Mm-hmm. Plus, I like that he is, we can distinguish his looks and Thor's looks. Because Thor is very... high up in the Asgardian chain. Loki, not so much, but he still has that Asgardian feel.
It's brains versus brawn in the comics. It always has.
Yes. Loki
always says that he is no match for his brother physically, but his brother could never take him on mentally.
No.
That's how it should be, and the costumes reflect that so well.
Loki doesn't have a whole lot of armor, but he's very agile. He can move a lot.
Right.
Thor has all the armor.
Absolutely. So before we go, I think we have to talk about Iron Man.
I agree.
Because he has a million different suits.
He does, and it upsets me.
I feel like we should just pick our favorites, whether it's from the comics or whether it's from the movies.
From the comics, he looks like a bullet, and it upsets me.
Yeah?
I don't like his look in the comics at all.
I'm sorry, Boo.
He does. He looks like a gold bullet.
Okay.
And I'm like...
So what's your favorite movie one, then?
So my favorite movie version... They all kind of look the same. That's the thing. I do like all of his looks that he had in Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
When he had all, 17 of them coming to fight and all the different color schemes.
Oh, there were way more than 17.
How many they were.
Intense, yeah.
I do like that he also has a suit for kind of different occasions and different weather conditions and different, terrain. And, he had, an all-white one, I think, for, a snowy look. He had a kind of green-looking one.
Blue one for underwater.
Blue.
Yeah.
He has all these looks. And I did like the one in Civil War.
Yeah?
I really did like that one.
That one is nice.
I mean, they all look nice. They all look, polished until someone throws a rock at it and then it blows up. But that's what it looks like. What's happening.
My favorite costumes, I'm not going to lie, they're from the first movie. Between the Mach 1, the Mach 2, and the Mach 3, mm-hmm. They all look spectacular.
They do.
And I am a fan of all of them. And I think it's because they actually had a lot of it be more practical. And watching Spider-Man Homecoming, none of it was practical. It was all CGI. He was just wearing the mocap. Mm-hmm. And it was disappointing. Because I think...
Yes. Even on the second Avengers, they would do, a half-body version of it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But in this one, he's not really in it a whole... In Spider-Man, he's not really in it a whole lot, so it makes more sense, I guess, to do CGI, but whatever.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Iron Man has a lot. It's all pretty.
Yeah.
All shiny.
We didn't really talk a lot about the X-Men. One of my favorite X-Men, Angel, he has a great outfit.
I love Archangel more than Angel, I think.
Fair enough.
Because of the blue and the purple.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we said, Marvel, it's a lot to go on. We might do a part 2 of this, too. We don't know.
We can talk about Men of X-Men. We can talk about...
We can do the Women of Marvel next. Women of something.
That would be great.
Yeah, there's
Men
a lot.
DC next?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Because it's a lot to go off of.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a lot of coverage.
But thank you, Yinsen Cosplays. You look amazing.
Yes.
And I'm going to go like your page right now, just like you guys should. We'll follow you. You can follow us. Check out the HPN, heroespodcasts.com, for all your gamer and TV, movie, costume goodness.
Yes. And where can they find you now? Because you changed a little bit.
I rebranded. I am now SirynRae. I kept the Siren part because that has actually been my internet handle for over 10 years. So I wanted to keep it SirynRae.
Yes. So go check her out. I am Haus Cosplay. As always, we appreciate you guys. We love you. I don't know why I'm holding this like I'm going to toast you guys, but I'm holding it. So, yeah, cheers. So, like I said, go like us. Go give us some love.